Probably the simplest pattern is polka dots. They can be regular or all lined up in a row, or they can be alternating like in these felt cookies. So let me show you what you need to get started. You need some brown felt for the base of the cookie. You need some colorful felt to make polka dots. You need cotton balls for stuffing inside to make them dimensional. You need some glitter glue for embellishment, some yarn, and I like this yarn that's fuzzy and it gives a little bit of stripy pattern to it that looks great. You also need some clothespins, some craft glue, and a pair of pinking shears and regular scissors. So what you'll do is find a lid that's the size of a cookie that you want to make. So it doesn't matter what size it is as long as you trace it twice. So use your permanent marker to trace around the outside of the lid. Okay, go all the way around, and I'll show you, I've already finished making my circle with my pen. Now I'm going to use pinking shears to cut it out. And pinking shears, the reason I chose them for this project is because it doesn't matter if your edges match perfectly, and it gives them a little bit of that homemade and home-baked look. So turn your fabric as you cut and line up those little triangles so that you have a nice pinked edge on your felt. Go all the way around, and when you get to the end, you can not worry too much. You don't need to worry too much about lining up the triangles, but they usually get pretty close. Okay, so now I already have another one that I cut out. What I'll do is take my cotton balls and place them in the middle, and that's just to add a little dimensionality to the cookie when it's finished. Then we're going to do a circle of craft glue all the way around the outside of our cotton balls. You can turn the felt like that. And I'm doing it pretty close to the edge here. You want to be careful that you don't get any on your work surface. And choose a craft glue that is good for fabric and other porous surfaces. Okay, so put that all the way around the edge, and then place your second piece. And I'm just turning this so that my marker is on the inside. And I got a little bit of glue here, but that's okay, we'll cover it up later. So press this down, and our glue dries clear, so no big deal. Press it down, add a clothespin. Okay, and then you're going to add your clothespins evenly spaced all the way around. And the clothespins are just going to hold it together while that glue dries. And if you need to, if it starts to gap a little bit, you can go back and add a little bit of glue inside in between your clothespins. Okay, so pin it all the way, and then we'll set this one aside and let it dry. Okay, so that is a way to hold it together that makes your ends pretty close to being even. This one is already dry. So this one I'll go ahead and remove my clothespins, and you can see I have the base of my cookie. Then I kind of scrunch it together in the center so that the cotton balls make a nice mound in the center of the cookie, and you get a little bit of a ruffling along the edge. Okay, so now I'm going to cut out some polka dots from colorful felt. And you can pretend that this is icing too on your cookies, or maybe some of those little candy dots that are so fun on cookies. This is just a freehand circle. And you could use a pattern if you wanted to. You could use a button for a pattern to cut around, or you can just cut it freehand. It doesn't have to be perfect. Again, we're going to use our craft glue, squeeze a dot, press it on, and the pattern here is sort of a triangle. You can imagine 3 points on the triangle, like this. So you have your 3 dots. Okay, now we're going to add some glitter. What you want to do is squeeze. If you want to start your glitter glue on a paper towel, then you can be sure that it's already coming out when you get over to your cookie. Just make a little circle, and remember that this is going, when it dries, to be a little bit flatter. So go ahead and make sort of a circular shape with your glitter glue. And then you can do it in between because you're alternating. So we're creating an A-B pattern here. A, B, A, now I need another B. And I chose this glitter glue because it has the swirl in it. So it brings in that blue, and it also has the purple. So you get that swirly pattern a little bit with your glitter too, in between, and it's sort of like icing your cookies. Then you can use your craft glue again to make a line. Now this one you want to be a little bit more even with your line. So place the tip on the cookie, then turn your cookie. and just touch down every so often so that you get a line of glue that's all the way around that dimensional part of the cookie and not too close to the edge. I'm going to fill it in a little bit here, and then we're going to measure our yarn by laying it onto the glue. And so you can just press it on like that. And again, you can turn your cookie and just lay the yarn right onto the glue. And it's like piping a little bit of icing right around the edge. And all of this glue is going to dry clear, so don't worry. Now we're ready to trim the end of the yarn, so just bring the edges together and then use very sharp scissors to cut it so that it's pretty close to where you started. Press it down, and you can use your fingers to just go back and press the yarn into place. And then we'll set this aside to let it dry, and then you're ready to have these cookies at your next pretend picnic.